the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to another Morning Motivation with Marcus, and today we're going to talk about forgiveness. We're going to talk about forgiveness. Going through my counseling and me growing and letting go of my past, I talk about in my book, and when I'm speaking a lot, I talk about forgiveness. I talk about leaning on three things: leaning on my faith, leaning on my family, and leaning on forgiveness. And a lot of times the reason we can't move forward is because we haven't forgave, whether it's forgiving ourselves or forgiving someone else. A lot of times we think if we're upset at somebody, we're being holding somebody, whether it be intentional or unintentional. A lot of reason the time we can't move on is because we're holding on to stuff. Yeah, we're holding on to the past. We're holding on to what happened. We're holding on to the situation. We're holding on because it happened to us, the way it made us feel. And so I talk about different ways on how to acknowledge and deal with those issues. But the biggest thing that we have to do in order to move forward is we have to forgive. Even if that means sometimes forgiving ourselves. I talk about in the book where I held on to a lot of stuff from my past. I held on thinking I wasn't good enough. Going in this depressed state of, man, I did this, I did that. For the longest I held on to, it was my fault on how I raised my kids. I did the best I could, but I wasn't forgiving myself for some of the things that I had done. I can't change the past. I couldn't change the past when I was thinking about those things or when I was holding on to those things. And yet it was hard for me to move forward, and I struggled all because I didn't forgive myself. I didn't forgive myself. And so I ask you this morning, what are you holding on to that you haven't forgiven yourself for? One, you did something in your past, you made a bad decision, you made a bad mistake, and you think that you're going through whatever it is you're going through because of that decision you made 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And you're still holding on to it. It happened. Forgive yourself. Some of you had a situation with a sibling, a spouse, significant other, brother, sister, cousin, mom, dad, and you're still holding on to it. It happened 20 years ago, and you're still holding on to it. You haven't truly forgiven it. You say you have, but you haven't truly forgiven it. Every time you see them, it goes through your mind. Something happens on the inside of you. Every time you hear their voice, you cringe. Every time you interact with them, you think about the last time, what happened. You think about what happened last week, what happened last month, what happened last year, what happened 10 years ago. And so I would encourage you this morning, if you want to move forward, forgive that person. Forgive the brother, forgive the mother, forgive the father. Yes, they made some bad decisions. Yes, it might not have gone your way. Yes, they may have walked out on you. So I encourage you to forgive them. If you can't verbally forgive them because they won't talk to you, I ask you to pray to God, ask Him to help you to forgive them. Write them a letter, email, go old school letter, and literally write the letter, mail it to their address, drop it off at their door, drop it off at their house, and then ask God to help you to heal and move forward. That's how we're going to move forward. That's how we're going to move forward as a community in love, is to forgive one another, forgive ourselves, and let's move forward. All right? That's my time for this morning. Hey, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Marcus J. Scott 4040, Marcus J. Scott 4040, and our Instagram page, Marcus J. Scott 4040, Marcus J. Scott 4040. And until tomorrow morning, always have a heart of gratitude and the strength to keep moving forward. God bless you. Ready for the day. Strength comes from above. Love will lead the way. Feet hit the ground now.
ready for the day. Strength comes from